the way Payne has just not played this year and not been able to get into the rotation, that he became expendable. So I think there's definitely I don't know for sure, but I would assume there is something else coming.
Hey, Chris, a couple of listeners were asking a future pick. So is that a 16, a 15 pick from the Hawks? What is from Minnesota? What is it?
I don't have it confirmed yet. I'm hearing it's a 2017, but I haven't confirmed that yet. But that's what I'm hearing.
So with the talks or potential interest, I guess, in Ray Allen, and Mike and I were discussing this yesterday. Chris Vivlamore joining us on the waitfor.com hotline talking about our Hawks making a trade today to get Adreian Payne to Minnesota. What do you think those talks are? I mean, is it on a scale from 1 to 10, Chris? Where are we at? I mean, is this serious? Is he seriously considering us, or is this kind of a 5 and he's thinking about everybody?
No, I think it's a 5. He's talking to everybody. In fact, when I wrote the story that first they were talking to him, the Hawks don't even know if he wants to come out yet, and I don't think Ray Allen at that point, a couple days ago, had decided if he's going to come back or not. So at least a few days ago, this was really preliminary. So it might be too soon to jump to the conclusion that this means Ray Allen, but it could mean something else. But as far as what I was told a couple days ago, Ray hadn't even made that decision yet.
So I know this is the $64 question. We've been kicking it around, Chris. Who makes these decisions? I feel like remember the movie Rollerball? Who makes these decisions? The executives. Well, who are they? In the case of obviously Danny Ferry being persona non grata, is this all on Coach Bud, or does Danny have a burner phone? How does this work?
What is this, The Wire?
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
I know it's putting you on the spot, but
No.
it's hard for some fans. Now, some fans are willing to forgive and forget. Some are still upset, but he is the guy that built this team, which is the best team in the NBA right now.
Right. Now, I can tell you how it's working is the same as if he was here. There is a basketball ops department that continues to work and talk to agents, and there are assistant GMs and other people under there who are keeping their ears out and scouting and still looking at players. Ultimately, they all get into a room. Bud will be in there and hash it all out. And I understand those conversations can get heated, and as they discuss players and make the decision. Ultimately, Bud makes the final call. I mean, that's kind of the position he's in without Danny Ferry here. But it still is, and they continue to tell you that because it's based on that San Antonio model. It's like a group effort that they'll all go into a room and hash it out. And like I said, sometimes it's not friendly, but they will come out with a united decision. So ultimately, they all got together and talked, but if you want the bottom line, Bud has to pull the trigger.
All right, right now, of course, this could change in a couple of days or even maybe in a couple of hours. Who knows? But right now, based on what you know, they make a move before the trade deadline. We don't know what that move is going to be, but you believe that to be the case?
Yeah, I think that's what this signals, that they're going to do something. They had to free up a spot. If they didn't do anything, then you knew they were, obviously, they were going to stay pat. But to me, whether it's a trade or not at the deadline, or whether it's a signing of Ray Allen, or, heck, they could even bring, Eddie Tavares back over from Spain, who knows. But, to me, this signals they needed a roster spot. This gives it to them.
I'm hoping, Max. We're working on the Tavares impression, Chris. That's in the pipeline. Chris, the loss to Memphis, we saw them beat Golden State. They only lost, they had 2 bad possessions down the stretch. I mean, do you think that it's an overreaction? I mean, because a lot of fans feel that this thing and this team is constructed to go very far in the playoffs, and you don't want to tweak it.
Yeah, overreaction just to the one loss?
Yeah, or just the way that not to put Carl in that alarmist category, but guys who feel we got to have a big.
Yeah, see, I think that Grizzlies game proved to you that you didn't need it, because they were, on 2 nights after playing that up and down, wide open style with the Warriors, they went toe to toe with the Grizzlies, and that was a physical game. Paul Millsap told me, they beat the crap out of us, but literally, you don't turn the ball over twice. And you were right into that game to the final second. So to me, it proves that they can play both of those styles.
Chris, one last thing before we let you go. Chris Vivlamore here on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. It's Dukes and Bell. As we found out, per Chris, that Adreian Payne's been traded, last year's first-round pick, to Minnesota for a future first-round pick, protected. That is a lottery-protected pick. The All-Star situation, it looks like D. Wade will not play in the upcoming All-Star game. That opens up another spot. Does that go to Kyle Korver?
Yeah, right. In the middle of all this, oh, by the way, I've had discussions. I think it's either Korver or it could be Brandon Knight from the Bucks. They're both at the weekend competing in the Saturday night events. I almost think they might give it to the Knight just because the Bucks don't have a representative and they are having a decent year. And there are plenty of Hawks in the game, but certainly, I'd make the argument that it should be Korver.
Good stuff, Chris. Hey, man, appreciate the time today. Thanks for carving out a few minutes to fill us in on this news.
Well, I'm not going outside here in Boston, I can tell you that.
It's like 8 feet of snow up there. When news breaks, Chris V picks up the pieces and gives them to us right here on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Again, Adreian Payne up to the T-Wolves. What Chris thinks is maybe a 16 or 17 pick.
Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Get in the game on Twitter at 929 The Game.
On Facebook /929 The Game.
On YouTube /929 The Game.
On your phone, the free Audio Roadshow app.
The website 929thegame.com.
Watch the game. Watch 929thegame.com.
And listen at 929thegame.com.
Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.